About Aborigine, like, can you talk to us a bit about the, I don't know, the relation between Aborigine and Australia? Is there still a lot of Aboriginal people living in Australia?
Yes, they're not a myth. There's a lot of Aboriginals in Australia. Um, a lot of them have been introduced to Christianity and the Western civilization. So now you're not finding remote Aboriginal tribes living by themselves as once you might have 40, 50 years ago. But they have a lot of communities where you'll just find Aboriginal people. A lot of these are similar to the communities that you might find here in Quebec with the Indians.
Okay. Do they live, where do they live in Australia?
Well,
Lots are in Cairns?
they live all the way throughout Australia, actually, and you'll find just as many in the north as you will in the south. The biggest communities you'll find actually in the south, down near Sydney. But they're widespread, and they've got a strong heritage, and they've got their own unique flag for Australia as well. So. Mayonnaise on your chips, I mean, what's that all about? Until you start eating it, it's just really good. But you never put mayonnaise on your chips in Australia. Never put caramel on your toast for breakfast. I mean, these little things are just little things. I mean, they're good, I can't deny that. The peanut butter with banana, I mean, little things like that.
And about the food in Australia, what do you eat?
Fruit in Australia, well, let's talk about fruit. Fruit is unbelievably tasty in Australia. Like an avocado, it's just not comparable to an avocado that we get here in Quebec. It's hard to describe until you've had one.
Too.
Mango is the same thing. It's the same thing.
But not the strawberry.
No, there's sweet strawberries here. It's very good. Quebec is good for the strawberries, good for the corn. Blueberries. Good for those as well. But, everything else, it's just not the same.
Yeah. And about the food, the rest of the food. What's the meal? What's an Australian meal?
So a lot of Australian meal is meat orientated, meat and vegetables like potatoes, peas, corn, carrot. Steak will be chops, a lot of lamb, a lot of beef, a lot of fish.
Lots of barbecue.
A lot of barbecue, yeah, a lot of barbecue. On the barbecue we always do steak, sausages, fish, prawns. Seafood's a lot different in Australia than it is here. Even though we get fresh seafood in Quebec, it's just not the same flavour. So it's something I miss.
And what's the symbol of Australia about the food? I can think about two things.
The symbol of Australia for the food?
Vegemite.
Vegemite? Yeah, Vegemite would be
Why
one.
is it so good?
It's just
It's so
good.
disgusting.
You just have to grow up with it. It's just something else.
How can you make kids eat this?
They love it. It's just,
I know, but why?
It's very healthy. It's very healthy. You grow up big and strong.
But why does kids love this?
You just love what you know. You like get used to what you know, and
You don't know caramels on toast, that's why.
that's right. Yeah, we don't have cabana souk in Australia, so we don't start young with the sugar.
And if there's any other things?
Meat pie.
Exactly.
Meat pie is very popular in Australia as a break, like your morning break. You take a meat pie for a snack. is very iconic. It's very good.
And about the notions of times, you know, in Australia, do you tend to eat a bit later than we do in Quebec?
Yes, I think so. In Quebec, it seems to eat very early, maybe 5:30, 6 o'clock. Whereas in Australia, we eat more like 7:30, 8 o'clock. A bit later in the evening.
And there's something also that I've been, you know, seeing in Australia a lot is that everybody cuts their names. You know, Jimmy, it's gonna be.
Yes, everything in Australia in the vocabulary is cut. We cut it down, shorten it, make it shorter. Like my name's Steven, everyone call me Steve or Steve-O. Nearly every name you can put an O on the end, and Australians love putting an O on the end. I'm not sure what that's about. It's just about making a nickname, making someone a personal connection. Steve-O, Jimbo, all of these kind of things. We've got a habit of putting Azza on the back of something as well. Dazza, Gazza, Bazza, these kind of things all. Yeah.
And about the wedding, you know, like is getting married it's common in Australia?
Yes, it's common in Australia. It's about as common as what divorce is. But it's still very common in Australia to be married. I think the divorce rate in Australia also is similar to Quebec or the USA. 1 in 2, 1 in 3 end in divorce, this kind of thing.
And in Australia, you take the family name of the husband.
Yes, yeah, that's right. The woman takes the man's name, or vice versa, but most commonly it's the woman will take the man's name.
So it's traditional to do that.
Yeah, it's a traditional thing in Australia.
And the rivalry between New Zealander and Australian,
is
it like a myth or is it true?
It's a myth, but it's true at the same time. We have a sporting rivalry. It's not more than that. So we have two very proud nations there, New Zealand and Australia, and whenever Australia gets onto the sporting field or in the sporting arena, it's a very hard-fought battle. We're very proud of it to be Australian, and with our sporting teams, we support them with all our get-go.
Okay.
Tourism is a very large industry in Australia. I won't say the largest, but it certainly is a large industry. You can travel from top end of the east coast to the bottom end without a problem. It's very driven around the tourist travel route, so you can find accommodation easily, find food, activity, lodging, help. All of these things are readily available in Australia. It's a really nice place to travel. I wish I travelled there a bit more myself.